Rob, first, thank you very much for speaking with me. Before we talk about what we're going to talk about, I want to ask, how are you doing and how's your family doing throughout this time?
We're all doing fine. Thanks for asking, Rudy. We're all, as with everybody, learning how to live in a new way, working from home for both my wife, Shelley, and I, and trying to figure out how to make all that work and to keep our own mental health and physical health properly by exercising and thinking about other things. That's the real challenge, I think, right now, is thinking about other things at times rather than just what's going on in the world around us.
It is really something different. How is the Salvation Army helping right now? Because there's so many people out there worried. They're worried about food, clothing, so many different things. How are you guys helping, and how can we help the Salvation Army?
Sure. Yeah, well, as you can appreciate, as everybody has, we've had to figure out what we can and what we can't do, and how we can do it in a way that keeps our staff safe and healthy and keeps those that we serve safe and healthy. So some of the things we can't do are keep our thrift stores operating. We've had to close those down for quite obvious reasons. There's a lot of handling, a lot of crowd, a lot of people in the same space, and it's very difficult to do that. So, and it's really kind of non-essential. It's essential for us in that it's part of the ways in which we raise funds, but it's not an essential service in the well-being of the general public. So our thrift stores have shut down, but we continue to operate our food banks. We continue to operate our shelters. We've had to figure out how to do them differently. Obviously, we want to keep everybody safe and healthy. So how do we deliver food? How do we handle food at food banks, or how do we house people in our shelters? Those are the challenges we've had to face. But we're following all of the public health guidelines, and we are figuring out how to implement those things in various ways and in different ways in different locations.
Okay, now I want to get to the thrift shops first, because somebody like a lot of people are doing, like myself, since we are home, we decide, okay, we want to clear out some clothes and we want to donate them. Mm-hmm. Can we still donate them? Because I've seen pictures on social media where a lot of the boxes have been filled up. What do we do?
So our request is, if you have space in your house, if you can hold on to it at home until such time as we're able to reopen the thrift stores, that would be greatly appreciated. We want the donations, and when our thrift stores reopen, there's going to be huge demand, and we're going to want to ramp things up very quickly. Unfortunately, as everybody is doing house cleaning and whatnot, we don't have the capacity to have all of the intake when there's nothing going out. So if folks are able to hold on to those donations, bag them up, box them up, maybe you've got a corner in the basement or something you can put them in, and just hold on to them for a while until we're able to open up our stores again. That would be fantastic.
Okay, shelters. A lot of people, I've seen people out there, and I worry about them, we worry about them. How is that working for people being able to go to shelters? Is it still, you kind of mentioned it earlier, but I just want to make sure it's clear. People can still come to shelters and they're going to be safe? Do they have to worry about catching anything from anybody?
Well, we are doing absolutely everything we possibly can. We are following all of the guidelines, of course. We work very closely with public health on these things. We've implemented new procedures, new measures. We're working to space everybody out within our shelters. We are acquiring new space where we can move people around so that everybody's sleeping 6 feet apart. We're spacing out meals so that we don't have people congregating and eating meals together. They're accessing the meals in a more sporadic manner. We've opened up more areas of space for people to sit so that people aren't sitting close to each other in some of the common areas. And, of course, obviously, all of the universal precautions, the hand washing, the surface washing, the protective equipment as needed is all being used. We're washing all surfaces. We're encouraging all of those residents who are staying in the shelters to wash hands frequently, to abide by all of the protocols of social distancing and all of those things. So we're doing everything that, is possible to ensure that everybody is safe and healthy for both the residents and the staff.
And how can we donate food? I've read, again, you don't know if the information is correct or not, the Daily Bread Food Bank having a tough time in collecting food. In fact, I think I read an article that they're going to be teaming up with the Toronto Library to help. What can we do about helping with donations?
So here's what I would suggest, and what we're really encouraging. We don't want to ask anybody to go out to the grocery store any more than they absolutely have to. If you feel like you want to pick up some extra things when you go to the grocery store, that's great. You can drop them off at one of our food bank locations or at 150 Railside Road. We're going to have a drive-through drop-off there. However, the more efficient way to do this for us right now is just to have folks, if they would make a cash donation, go to salvationarmy.ca or call our 800 number, 1-800-SAL-ARMY, SALARMY. If you make a cash donation, that money will be taken. We can purchase food, we can buy it in bulk. There's much less handling, much less concern about infection from one person to another because it's going to come from factory or producer into our warehouse and will be distributed out. So it allows us to do things efficiently and quickly in a really streamlined manner.
That makes much more sense. For folks who want to learn more about this, you mentioned about the website. Of course, social media is another place where we can go to be updated and to hear about anything else. Where do we go social media-wise to find out any more information?
So you'll find us at Salvation Army Toronto. You'll see TSA Toronto on Instagram or on Twitter. Also, Salvation Army in Canada is another great social media stream to follow. That will show you what's going on across Canada with the Salvation Army, not just the Toronto area. But those are the TSA Toronto, the Salvation Army Toronto on Facebook, and Salvation Army in Canada on Facebook as well would be great places to go and see what the Salvation Army is doing.
Rob, before we go, is there anything you want to say to folks who are listening to this?
Well, we certainly appreciate everybody's support. People trust the Salvation Army. They continue to support us, and we thank you so much for that. Just want to let you know that we are continuing. All of our food banks continue to be open and operating. All of our shelters continue to be open and operating, and we are working with all levels of government and all officials to ensure we're doing it safely and properly.
Rob, thank you so much for giving back the way you do, and for the folks at the Salvation Army. Thank you again for this interview. You be safe, my friend, you and your family. And let's talk again in the next couple of weeks so we can get more of an update to see what's needed and what we can do to help out.
That would be fantastic. Thank you so much, Rudy.
Take care. Bye-bye.
All right. Bye-bye.